Welcome to the story of the women of the United States Australian Football League. Just as the league has grown and morphed over the last 25 years, so has the women's game. We want to celebrate all the women that have been involved in the development of the great game of Australian rules football. This is your journey.
It all began in 2001 when two women, Gloria Rodriguez from Chicago and Mary Larkin from Cincinnati, played at Nationals.
In 2003, we witnessed the first all-women's exhibition match at Nationals in Kansas City. 9-a-side with a wrap-up rule, the OC Bombshells took on all-comers, with the Bombshells claiming victory that year.
The same rules applied at the 2004 World Metro Footy Championships in Phoenix, but as you can see, the women were keen on real tackles.
The US Footy asked me to come on the board as the women's director. I gladly accepted. The first order of business I said was I want to have a women's division. We've decided in the women's game to play 9-a-side just to help the game grow so that we can have more teams and more players and have a competition.
The first official women's division at Nationals occurred in 2005. Atlanta was crowned premiers, winning over Arizona and Combo Team Fusion.
2006 saw the addition of a Milwaukee team at Nationals in Las Vegas, but Atlanta held on to their title and took home the hardware for a second year in a row.
The national team, the USA Freedom, played their inaugural game at the 49th Parallel Cup in Vancouver in 2007 in a doubleheader with the men's national team, the Revolution.
Back home at Nationals, Atlanta went on to claim their third national title in Louisville, Kentucky, now playing 12-a-side.
Snow and sleet at the 2008 Nationals in Colorado Springs resulted in a Canadian team being crowned US Footy Nationals victors. The Freedom Squad name this year would be touring Australia in 2009 under the leadership of Captain Jenny Sarbacher.
That tour included stops in Sydney, Cairns, and Melbourne. The game in Bendigo attracted 1,500 spectators.
This event helped to prove to the AFL that they had an untapped market in the women's game.
8 women's teams attended Nationals in 2009 in Mason, Ohio. The women of 2004 got their wish and finally saw the wrap rule dropped. Game on! This year, Milwaukee claimed the premiership.
The Freedom attended their second 49th Parallel Cup in Toronto in 2010. Unfortunately, Canada took the cup.
Nationals returned to Louisville, Kentucky in 2010, but with more teams than 2007, although still playing 12-a-side in the women's competition. Denver claimed their first championship title this year.
We won both of our games today, and historically, that's our first Magpie win this morning.
The 2009 Tour of Australia paid off in 2011, with the AFL introducing the first ever women's division for the International Cup. The Freedom finished third and had 6 players named to the All-World team: Becky Kraft, Courtney Church, Lindsay Kastanek, Monica Rosocha, Jess Hazen, and our captain Judith Stein.
At Nationals 2011 in Austin, Texas, a dynasty was starting to emerge. Denver took home their second championship, playing 14-a-side.
2012 was a thrilling year for the Freedom as they won against Canada in the 49th Parallel Cup. The development team, the Liberty, were also created this year. At Nationals, you guessed it, Denver took home their third title.
By 2013, the excitement surrounding the Freedom and Liberty was high. That year's camp saw record attendance. Sadly, both teams lost to Canada in the 49th Parallel Cup.
At Nationals, Denver won again, claiming their 4th title in a row, playing 16 to 18-a-side. That same year, Heather O'Keefe was the first woman to goal umpire the men's D1 final.
IC 2014 saw both the Freedom and Liberty playing in the tournament. The Liberty also played a pre-tournament game against Pasco Vale, which became the foundation for the 2017 Liberty Tour. 5 women were named to the All-World team at this International Cup: Catherine Georgiadis, Alexa Blotnick, Hallie Lee Kastanek, Sarah Edwards-Roner, and Kim Hemingway.
Nicole Fazula also attended the IC representing the USAFL Umpires Association as the first woman to receive the UA scholarship.
Denver brought home their 5th Nationals title this same year.
2015 saw the addition of the East-West Showdown, the first all-women's tournament, with San Francisco clinching the inaugural title.
The women of the USAFL were keen to unseat Denver as champions in Austin, Texas at Nationals 2015. While Minnesota broke Denver's 23-game winning streak at Nationals, Denver still went on to claim the title in a round-robin tournament.
This was the first year we saw 2 divisions at Nationals, with squads that could field a full side competing in Division I and combination teams competing in Division II. A combo team of mostly Calgary athletes claims the D2 title. Jessica Wushner, the first Australian woman to play in both the USAFLW and the AFLW, competed in Division II with the Boston Demons.
The 2015 Parallel Cup was held in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Canada's Northern Lights and Midnight Suns defeated the Freedom and Liberty over 2 days of competition.
So Emily Reel, who can beat you a number of different ways and who has a deceptively strong kick, goes in short, and it's marked by Kastanek.
Lands with Serpico. She tries to break through the tackle of Coppola, but that is a vicious tackle.
All dynasties must come to an end, right? The San Francisco Iron Maidens walked away as premiers from Nationals in Sarasota, Florida, 2016.
Ending Denver's 6-year Nationals championship title run.
Portland claimed the title for Division II.
3 years had passed since the previous IC, so in 2017, the Freedom and Liberty headed back to Australia. The Freedom took 4th in the IC and had 3 players named to the All-World team: Katie Klatt, Bevan English, and Brett Brower. The Liberty toured locally, going 3-2 for the trip, and bringing home their first ever win. Valerie Barber Axbaum was named the first recipient of the Jenny Sarbacker Award for Liberty Best and Fairest.
Nationals 2017 was held in San Diego, California, still with 2 women's divisions and a special appearance by the Aussie Sparks. The first standalone women's club, the North Star Blue Ox, made their debut this year. For a second year in a row, San Francisco took home the D1 title and Portland clinched the D2 title.
Valerie Barber Axtone will try to change that, but Elise Gallagher will have nothing of that.
Racine, Wisconsin hosted Nationals in 2018. San Francisco held strong to their D1 title, while Sacramento claimed victory in D2.
Taking the mark back there was the one and only Danielle Marshall. Now, Danielle Marshall is the first American woman out of the United States Australian Football League to sign a professional contract in the AFL Women's competition. She'll be playing for the Western Bulldogs in 2020.
Back to Sarasota for Nationals in 2019, Philly claimed the D2 title, and San Francisco brought home their 4th D1 championship.
Welcome to an event like no other. This is the 2020 USAFL Virtual Nationals.
The league got creative in light of the global pandemic and hosted a virtual Nationals competition in 2020. The DC Eagles, Sacramento Suns, and Minnesota Freeze brought home that year's bragging rights.
Up goes to a teammate, bouncing ball through for a goal. The Tigers get their first ever goal.
Bouncing back was the USAFL slogan of 2021. With only one division for the women this year, San Francisco claimed their 5th title at Nationals in Austin, Texas, and Lori Roop was the first female to field umpire a men's Division I final.
If she can just pick it up, which she can't, it's sister on sister. Wow, and her mother threw the shepherd.
It's 2022, and the women of the USAFL are ready to get back out on the pitch. Will the Iron Maidens tie Denver for the most Nationals wins? Or will a new powerhouse emerge in the women's competition?
It's great to see that, Australians and Victorians aren't the only people passionate about our game. So we all make lifetime friends out of footy, and hopefully this weekend will be no different.
Whether each year brings new women's teams making their debut at Nationals, or existing teams recruiting and spreading the joy of footy to newcomers, the evolution of the women's side has been a fun one to watch.
The story of the women of the USAFL is not just about the athletes on U.S. soil.
It's also about women like Drea Casillas, who inspired the creation of the Women's Association in 2015.
And the women who have served in leadership roles, such as our first female club presidents in each region, Amy Bishop in the West, Julie Upton Piper in Central, and Andy Williams-Knight in the East.
It's about the women that umpire our matches, including the first woman to serve as president of the USAFL Umpires Association, Lori Roop.
The women that travel and play internationally for the love of the game.
And the women that coach our clubs, including our current USA Freedom head coach, Christina Licata, the first American woman or man to reach Level 2 coaching accreditation.
The women who chase their dreams to play at the highest level.
It's about the men that have supported us along the way.
And the countless contributions of the AFL and the AFLW.
The USAFL women's side has steadily grown over the last 25 years, and we can't wait to see what the next 25 years will bring.